What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the SLR F1 2017 Tier 1 League Round 1 Australia, where today we will be driving around the 29 laps of the Albert Park circuit on F1 2017. And a bit of news from last year. Obviously, Costas 99 won the championship, has now dropped out altogether. He's decided to give it a gap year. Savis 23 will be missing the first few rounds of the season. And what's something that's changed from the pre-season races, that Infinite March has joined and will be racing for the McLaren team alongside. If you did miss the pre-season video, it'll be on the channel, and in that video I went through all the drivers and who was driving for what team and what have you, and it's looking like a very close field, and should be a hell of a lot closer than last year, where Kostas absolutely dominated the field. Also, all the videos from last year's season will be in the channel as well. Also, for this year, the assists have been limited, so there's less assists, no traction control and no ABS this year, so it should make it more exciting. Obviously, the grid is a lot more closer than it was last year. We have about 5-6 people come in, for example Technica, Tumas, Frandy, Evo, Gary, and the list can go on. Ives, anybody could win this year. It's pretty open field. So without further ado, let's head over to the qualifying comparison. So here we are for a qualifying comparison between Nene 57 and Frandy Thompson, the two Toro Rosso drivers. So as we come across the line, we are going to go across the line and start and go to turn 1, where you go down into 5th gear, clip the apex. You can see both drivers do like Nene. Is slightly behind Frandy at this point, going into turn number 2 as he takes it a bit more cautious and doesn't carry the speed as much as Frandy does. Into turn 2 he shifted down to 3rd and then into 4th, but you can see Frandy actually runs wide, and then he takes advantage of that and runs the curve perfectly, both drivers into the next corners, which is pretty much flat out. Into the second sector we go, going down into 4th and then short shift to 5th, as both drivers are pretty similar on the gears. Frandy slightly earlier than Nene at this point, and into the next set of corners, 3rd gear, very difficult corner to get it slowed down. As you see, Frandy actually runs it 4th, while Nene 3rd, and then short shift to 4th. But except for that, it's pretty similar. And then you go into 8th and then go down into 7th, and all that you have to do is get it turned in at the right point. You see, Frandy actually goes a little bit wide, as you can see, he goes onto the grass into the corner as well. And into the final sector we go, break down into 4th gear, and then obviously just short shift to 5th, 6th, and then down into 5th, and to the last corner you go, very difficult corner if you can mess this up. 3rd gear, don't carry too much speed, and into the last corner, modulate the throttle, and then you're set to cross the line. As you can see, it's very close by the Toro Rosso drivers, and we cross the line. It's Frandy with a 122.89 and a 122.9 for Nathan's highest qualifying of this of SLR so far. So let's head over to the rest of the qualifying results. So Technica on his debut took his first pole position with a 122.7, with Evo with a 122.8, Frandy and then Nene, Ives in 5th, Sanjistu 6th, Tumas 7th, Muckimix 8th, Ninja Hazard 9th, Infinite March 10th, and Alan, who crashed, is in P11. Also, Chopper Thing will be joining for this race as well, who didn't manage to join in time. So without further ado, let's head over to the race for the Australian Grand Prix. So we're finally here for round 1 of the SLR F1 2017 League, and today we'll be racing around the Albert Park circuit in Melbourne, Australia for round 1 of our championship. Today the drivers are facing the track that was introduced onto the calendar in 1996 29 times round in the new 2017 cars, which will be fairly different compared to the 2016 ones they were using last year. So it should be a mix up in the grid, and hopefully it could prove to be an exciting race. So here we are on the grid, going to 5 red lights, and away we go. We're on board with Frandy Thompson. He's started in 3rd place alongside Evo SRFC and Technikita on pole position. Oh, Evo brake takes him, but Technikita runs out and he runs into Frandy, and Frandy's gone off into the barrier and then goes into the other barrier, actually goes through the Sauber of Sant'Egisto, but that is an absolute tragedy for one of the favourites to win the league this year, as he's gone from third to absolutely rock bottom. But here is a replay from Mocking Weeks' perspective. As you can see, he gets off the line a lot better than Nene, who didn't even get going. As we're going to go down to turn one, he goes round the outside, runs deep actually, and gets the move done on Tumas, who made a mistake. And then we've got Technica, and then Frandy, who just pile drives himself into the wall as he left the throttle on, unfortunately, and he just goes into the wall. As we're going to carry on mocking Mix now as he runs wide into the next corner. But we've got another replay with Nene, and this was what happened to Nene. He didn't even really get in gear. He just went and stalled it onto the line, and he went right to the back of the field after a good qualifying from Nene, who got his highest qualifying in 4th in the league so far. He drops down to last, but as you can see into turn 1, he gets the momentum on PMA, and PMA actually squeezes him out of the club. There's Frandy, so he's no longer last. So it was an absolute shocker from Nene at the start. He's up to 12th though because of Frandy's incident, and he goes down the inside of PMA, and there is, I think that's Tumas or Infinite March, in fact. That's Infinite March, in fact, in the McLaren, who drove the lead today, and did a bit of wheel banging from PMA and Nene, but they get away with it, and Nene manages to get the position over PMA into turn number 5. And going on to the same lap with Tumas a bit further down on, as you can see now he's behind the car of Sant'Egisto, who's actually his friend in real life, who loses the back end on the curb. And that gives Tumas the better exit down the inside, and this should be a slam dunk move as he's all the way past now. And Tumas will be up into the next position. At the end of the lap though, there is Chupa Thing actually running wide in this little train that Nene's in. That means he's up to 9th, but now he's got Alan ahead. He tries it down the inside, an optimistic move down the inside. It's a Daniel Ricciardo time move down the inside, late on the brakes, and manages to squeeze him out on the exit and get that position. So he's up into P8, which is now P7 as Technica pits. So it's actually not that bad from Nene at this point, as obviously he went to 13th and went to 7th. He made it all up to 7th. It reminds me of one of them Senna moves where Donington, where he just made his way through the field. It's quite sometimes we see Frandy in the pits on a front wing. But going on to lap 2, we've got Nene on a mission now, trying to catch up to Ninja Hazard. Ninja Hazard actually runs wide, and Nene gets the inside. He squeezes him, but he doesn't quite keep the position, but he keeps trying around the outside, does Ninja Hazard. As you can see, there is his front wing, but Nene just about keeps it down the inside, and he has to give up on it, and does Ninja Hazard into the next corner, as he realises Nene is just going to be up the road very shortly, as he seems to have the pace on the ultra softs at the minute. On lap number 5 now, we've got Tumas coming into the pit lane, and he's going to come in and go on to another set of tyres, it looks like, because he's only on lap 5. He's going to go on and do a 2-stop strategy, and hopefully he'll be that'll be the strategy going, because it's quite a big debate on the 2-stop and the 1-stop, which one will work the most. It seems like Tumas is more confident with the 2-stop than the 1-stop, but we'll go on to lap number 6. We've got Chupa Thing squeezing out Tumas on the exit there, but as you can see, Tumas has just got the slipstream and more the slate line speed actually than Chupa Thing, and he's going to try and go side by side into the S section, and he just cuts the corner slightly and gets a warning for that, but he does get the position on Chupa Thing, doesn't have to give it back. But we're heading off to lap 9, where we've got that kid Ice from the lead, our race leader currently, who needs to pit, and we'll be going on to a set of super soft tyres, I think, as he's not confident on doing the 1-stop strategy. He's not very confident doing the 1-stop, and he'll be doing the 2-stop in this race. Hopefully that'll work out for him. Obviously that kid Ives' pace is fairly decent on this game. Obviously you have to go through the time trials, as you can see with Mocking Mix, everyone in the pits, and it promotes him to P1 with Nene up to 3rd now, but he's going to come into pits, and he's actually going to go on to a set of soft tyres and go to the end of this race from lap 9 to lap 29, 20 laps on the soft tyres. That's going to be fairly nip and tuck at the end, but he's going to go on to them. He's hoping a good pit stop from the Torosso boys, and he gets that fairly decent, and he comes out the pits. Let's see where he comes out. He's going to come out, it looks like he's going to be out in P7 as he releases the pit limiter slightly later than he probably should. And at the end of lap 10, we've got at the start of lap 10 I should say, we've got Tumas and that kid Ives, who actually came out of the pits just then. has lost the position to Tumas. So Tumas has actually jumped Ives in that pit stop. Obviously pitting early was Tumas. He's made the jump, and that puts him into P3 for now. So he's made his way back up, but as you can see, he locks up into the last corners of the lap, and that kid Ives just goes swoops around the outside and gets his P3 back. And here comes Evo, who actually gets it as well. Round the outside of the corner, which is very brave into the last corner, because you want to be really running the inside line. But here's a replay from Evo's PV. Is, as you can see, Tumas just runs so deep. Ives actually nearly follows him, but actually manages to carry the speed. Okay, and then round the outside, keeping the speed nice in mid corner, Evo gets the position. On the lap 12, he sees that kid Ives is struggling a little bit more than he actually was at the start. Obviously the super softs aren't suiting him, because Evo's going to go down the inside, and that's going to put him into P3 behind Alan now, who's actually in P2, I think. Yeah, Alan's in P2 on the soft tyre. He started on the soft tyre though. As you can see, Evo actually runs deep. That puts Ives side by side with him, as you can see in the mirrors, and he just about keeps the position going into turn number 4. And going on to lap number 13, in fact, we have Mockymix coming to the pits from the lead of the race, and that is very, very conservative from Mockymix, just basically p-rolling it in the pits, just like letting it roll at 30 miles an hour, which is very conservative, usually quite late, and then go on to quite late and then stick the pit limiter on the last minute to slow it. When you see Mockymix has gone to soft tyres, and is he going to come out ahead of Nene? This is going to be tight, because he's the only two going the one stop at the minute, and it looks like Nene actually did get the position over Mockymix. But we're going to go on to lap 13 again. As you can see, Tumas behind that kid Ives and Evo, who are both slowing each other up, and Tumas sees the opportunity on Ives here. Will he go for it? Obviously he's got DRS, but he's got the better exit, has Tumas. Tumas gets DRS, and down the inside he goes into turn 1. A bit of lag from that kid Ives, but down the inside, possibly no. Ives keeps the position for now in that Renault car. But will he get in with the second DRS zone? It doesn't look like it at this minute in time, as he breaks down, and yeah, he's not going to get the position yet, will Tumas. But going on to the back end of sector 3, as you can see, Ives actually runs wide, and Tumas actually managed to pounce on that mistake from Ives when he actually comes on very dangerous and punts Tumas, but he got away with it in the end, and Ives just loses the position, as Tumas needs to pit again to go on to another set of super softs and go to the end of the race. Actually no, it's ultra softs, as I say. It'll be interesting to see where Tumas is compared to the top two of Nene and Mockymix by the end of this race, because I expect him to be quite close. As you can see, Frandy, who just stayed out on the soft tyre for a very long time, is going to pit and go on to a set of ultras and go to the end of this race. Obviously Frandy will be very disappointed with what's happened in this race so far. He's down in P8 currently, so he's just hoping for sort of a bit of luck and hopefully be in the top 5 by the end. That's all he can really hope for. As we go on to lap number 21, we've got a car coming out the pits. It's Santa Gistu, who actually has a bad run out the corner because of that, and Tumas is going to go down the inside into the turn number 2, and doesn't quite make it stick, as he didn't quite go side by side with him. And going into the next section of corners, we have Tumas behind his friend Santa Gistu, and I think that may be Alan, the car ahead of that. Yes, in that Renault car, the distinctive Renault car looks quite nice on this game. But Sanchez is going to try and move on Alan here, going into this heavy braking zone, where you shift down to 3rd gear and then short shift to 4th. But Sanchez just lost the car on the exit yet again, like he did on lap 1, and Tumas pounces down the inside and gets P6. And now we can have a look at Alan as we go through the S section. As you can see, Tumas takes it very neatly indeed, whereas Alan compromised his line through the corner, and which means he's lost a slight bit of speed. But will Tumas look for a move? As you can see, he runs wide actually, Alan, onto the grass, and that's all. He doesn't need a second invitation, does Tumas, and he goes down the inside and makes the move stick, and he's up into P5 in a matter of corners from 7th to 5th, and Tumas will be very happy with them moves that he's just pulled off. On lap 22, we're on board with, this is that kid Ives who's leading the race on the super softs. He's going to pit, which is going to unleash Nene and Mockymix to battle it out. as obviously Mocky Weeks actually came out very close behind Nene at the pit stop, and he's actually still behind Nene after Nene's tyres are now 3 laps older than his. So you're expecting Mocky Weeks to get the advantage in the long run, but we will see by the end of the race. It is lap 23. We're getting very close to the end of the race. Only 6 laps remaining until this race is done and dusted. But as you can see, now we've got Oevo, SRFC, who's actually in the lead, coming into the pits, and that's actually a delayed reaction. I've got the videos the wrong way around. Ives was meant to come after Evo's. Okay, fair enough. But this is on lap 21. Evo actually pitted onto the Ultra Softs, and he will be going to the end of the race. And hopefully for him, he can make it happen, because he's the lead of the all the Ultra Soft runners. So he's going to try and catch the Nene and Mocky Weeks with all his pace that he can to catch them. And as you can see on lap 22, we're on board with Mocky Weeks behind Nene 57. He's got DRS, but going into turn 1, as you can see, he's quite far back, but Nene takes it quite conservatively. But nothing really happens there. But on lap 23, we have Tumas, and that kid Ives going down the inside is Tumas. That is a very brave move on that kid Ives, and going into the next corner. Does he lock up? He locks up slightly, which forces Ives wide. It means Ives cannot fight back. That's quite intelligent defending by Tumas, locking up to make him run wider and make sure he doesn't get the position on him. On lap 24, though, we've got a battle for the lead between 2 drivers who haven't even won a race. An SLR, Mocky got a podium back end last year, but he hasn't won. Nene hasn't been on the podium yet. Never mind being in the leader race at this point. But Nene defends the inside line, squeezes Mocky Weeks onto the curbs and the grass, and his car didn't like that, as he nearly got past, and that relieves Nene for another couple of laps, and he can carry on his merry way and try and win this race, as Evo actually bins it in the wall and is very lucky not to be out of this race and get a puncture either way, and just loses all of his front wing on lap 26. That is tragic for Evo. He's in P3 and he's just binned it into the wall going to the end of the first sector. But on to lap 26, we're on board with Nene over to 7 going into the last corner, and he locks up into the last corner and runs the grass, and that gives a chance for Mocky Weeks, and he doesn't need a second invitation there, does he, to win this race. And then he did come back very, very close, nearly actually took Mocky Weeks with him into the other grass trap on the left hand side. And as you can see, look, Nene actually locks up, and that is just absolutely an amateur mistake by Nene. Maybe the pressure got to him and he just bottled it, but we'll never know. As Mocky Weeks takes the lead, and he'll be thinking, now with 3.5 laps to go, this could be my day for the first win in SLR. As Oevo actually loses the position to that kid Ives. Obviously he's going to come into the pits. But talking about the lead again, I mean, Mocky Weeks has been one of the most consistent drivers in SLR. He's been one of the fan favourites, let's put it that way, one of the drivers' favourites as well, and if he won, it'd be a very popular win for him. And obviously Nene will be looking for that podium, which is still eluding him right now, but obviously he's in P2 and it looks like he's going to keep it that way. But it was Nene and Mocky Weeks that risked it on them one-stop strategies, whereas no one else decided to try that. Nene and obviously Mocky Weeks tried it, and it seems to be working so far. Going into with 3 laps to go to the end of this Grand Prix, as we've got Evo coming out of the pit lane and coming onto lap 27, and in the exact same spot we are now where he crashed last time. He doesn't do it this time, but he runs the grass and he's crashed and he's out of the Grand Prix. I can tell you that, but it didn't actually happen, as Santi just lost it and nearly punted. Oh, Santi just nearly punted his mate into the wall there. Tumas must have had a heart in mouth moment, thinking, oh god, that could have killed him. But coming on to last lap, we've got Mocky Weeks, who's drove an absolute superb race. He chose the right strategy. He's been very consistent. He waited for his opportunity for Nene to make a mistake. If Nene didn't make that mistake, I doubt he'd have got past. But he waited, he got the reward, and now he's going to come across the line, and he's going to win the opening round of the SLR F1 2017 League Season 2, and Mocky Weeks is your winner. And coming across the line in P2 will be Nene 57. To be fair, if you told him at the start of this race, he would have bit your hand off. As you can see, he bins it over the wall, which actually becomes P3 when Vecchidaus crossed the line, because Nene had 9 seconds worth of penalties in the penalty department. So Ives is going to come across the line and finish P2. Nene in P3 gets the podium he wants, and Ives gets a very nice podium. Obviously, this is his highest finish in SLR as well. And in P4, Tumas, probably one of the favourites for the league, just keeps it consistent and gets across the line. Not the best races from him, but he'll take it, I'm sure. Coming across the line in 5th is actually a surprise of Frandy Thompson, who worked his way very, very well indeed to come back in 5th place. And here are our podium sitters. We have Mocking Weeks, Nene, Deckard Ives, and Nene 0327. So after an absolutely enthralling race, it's going to be Mocking Weeks who gets his well-deserved first win in SLR, with Deckard Ives in second. Nene, tragic that he lost it with 3 laps to go. He will be kicking himself, but finishes P3. Tumas in 4th, Frandy 5th, Alan 6th, Sansagistu 7th, Ninja Hazard 8th, Technica 9th, and Chuppa Thing rounding out the top 10. So let's head over to the constructors. And as you can see, Renault took the lead with Ives and Allen both getting decent finishes in this race. Williams a second with 25, Torosso a third with 25 as well, very close at the top. Red Bull 4th with 12, Sauber have got 7, Mercedes have got 6, and then we've got McLaren, Force India, Ferrari and Haas all on 0, 6th, 7th, 8th and 9th respectively. So the next track we are going to is China, which is a totally different challenge on its own, with its S's and corners that are more long and withdrawn corners rather than the sharp corners of Australia, the street track, which is a lot different to an open circuit like China. So if you like the video, stick a like on it. If you enjoy our content, subscribe to the channel. And until then, I'm Nene 07 and we're out.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light